Wayne Bryant. John Masters, how you doing, man?
Hi, John. What's up?
Oh, just I had a moral quandary for you. I sent that email and I was wanting to get a verdict from you.
Which email?
I sent it to United with Wayne for Sheriff from the Rainbow Revolutionary. It might have went to spam. I don't know.
Oh, it may have. Yeah, 'cause I haven't seen it.
Well, if you got a minute, I wrote it down here and I tried to make it fair and balanced.
Okay, go ahead. What do you mean by fair and balanced?
Well, there's a person A and a person B. And I'm not going to tell you which one I am. So I'm definitely biased for myself. But as I stated, that'll be the caveat. That'll be the disclaimer, right? You've only heard from one side, so you'd have to hear from the other side. But presuming what I say is true, okay. So, dear Wayne Bryant, I hope all's going well. I still use judicial referee as my ideal for what I think of what a judge could be. And I got an issue I'd like for you to resolve. I've tried to simplify it as much as possible. Here's 8 sentences. Number 1, person A and person B are having a disagreement. Number 2, in the rural desert, person B drives his big rig past person A's house. Number 3, from the back of his 5-acre plot 600 feet away, person A yells at person B to get the fuck out of here, in quotes. Number 4, person B sharply jerks his steering wheel, jerking the big rig at person A. Person A alleges that's felony menacing. 10 minutes later, after person B stuck around and drove by person A's house a second time, 3 warning shots were fired. 3 warning shots were shot by person A, straight up into the air from behind his house. Person B alleges that's felony menacing. Person A alleges that's defense of home, person, and property. Number 6, person B makes his delivery to the criminal next door to a person who is a criminal to person A, who has criminalized person A before in the past. The criminal was a passenger to a drive-by shooting. Number 7, person A then drives around the block in his truck, parking in front of his homestead and yard. Number 8, person B then drives out of the neighborhood. End of story. So 3 questions. Who is right, who is wrong, and what should the punishments be, if any?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Thank you. I wanted a nice, thoughtful, lengthy answer, so I'm just gonna shut up and hear what you guys say.
Well, physical on the other individual's private property.
You're talking about person A or person B? What's the say? Yeah, sorry. You talking about person A or person B?
The person B that was driving by and was yelled at, was he on that other person's private property?
No, he was on the dirt road in front of his property.
Well, then first person A has no right to yell or curse at person B or even fire shots in the air, because in a lot of states, depending on how far the next house is to you, you can't just go firing off weapons that would potentially, that the bullet could land on somebody if you're in a neighborhood, even if they're 5 acres apart. There's always that potential chance. So I'm going to think that person A that owned the property that yelled at the driver is the one that's at fault for taking I don't know how to say it, for taking the law in his own hands, because person B was not trespassing or doing anything wrong other than driving up and down the street, which is a public road.
Okay, so I have some pushback to that, but let's get to the punishment. So what do you think the punishment then should be?
In most cases, and I'm not certain on this, is that person A that fired the shots into the air is the one that's guilty, and that would depend what the local enforcement laws of every county or state are regarding firing a weapon in a residential area. They all vary from county to county and state to state. So that would be up to a judge to determine, or to determine what that violation would constitute as far as punishment in that local jurisdiction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense in terms of our judicial, branch stuff. But as a judicial referee, I guess justice to me is eye for an eye.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, and I like to be creative sometimes too, because it feels like to me, I'll presume for a second that you're right, which I didn't like your verdict, but let's assume that you're the judge and you say, okay, well, you got to mow this other guy's lawn for a week or something. What severity? Because the other guy said that, I'm person A, by the way. The other guy says that he wasn't injured, and I want to push back on the narrative of the thing, but I want to kind of get the punishment out of you too, because I feel like even if you think that person A was wrong, he's not Jeffrey Dahmer. He's not going around burglarizing people. He's not going around kicking old women and robbing, taking stuff out of their purses, and he thought that he was doing Article 2, Section 13, which is consistent with the Bill of Rights. Right.
And was not a threat. So by him discharging a weapon is where the problem lies. It's not him yelling at the guy. It's discharging the weapon, and depending on, like I said, if it's in a residential area, there are penalties for that, because there could be a potential injured party that may receive the bullet not knowingly, or whatever the case may be. Once it's fired in the air, it's going to go up, and who knows what it's going to do.
Right. It was out in a rural desert. There's like 5-acre plots out there, and I would say there's probably not 5 individuals that live out there. So they call that rural residential. So I don't know. It could, I guess.
Now, are you in New Mexico?
I'm on the border of New Mexico and Colorado. I'm in Mowed.
Break through his gate and drive on his property and started harassing him, and he did the same thing. He fired 3 rounds into the air, and when the deputies were called, the deputies came and arrested him for firing the rounds. Even though the kids were breaking into his property, they arrested him and took his gun away for firing warning shots in the air.
And that's incredible, right? You're saying that's ridiculous?
That was bullshit.
Yeah, oh my God, because they broke into his cage. Okay, so the punishment. Let's presume person A is guilty. Spit out a punishment. What do you think person A should do to rectify? Just on their own. Let's say you're the mediator and you have a recommendation. I would like this to happen.
I'm a big believer in common law, and I'm not a believer in statutory or maritime law. So, and with that in mind, if there's a party that's injured, I believe the party that has caused the injury should it make recompense to the injured party. So if he has to mow the lawn for a month, or if he has to clean the house or clean the chickens out, that would be up to the victim.
And let's say he agrees to that. He says, "All right, mow my lawn for a month, and then all will be well."
Right, and then hopefully at that point they shake hands and agree and move on. Because one of the things that we don't have on our system is if there is a victim, the victim is more harmed and is never made whole again, but yet the perpetrator or the criminal has more rights than the victim does, and I don't agree with that.
Well, how did that case end up with the guy who, you made a distinction about being on the private property, so it's almost like he broke through the gate. He's coming at the guy. The guy, what option does the guy have? Just get run over? Just get shot up?
That was the point, and I was pretty upset about that.
Did he get back out? Did he get his citizenship taken away and his voting rights, and now he's a...
No, he had to pay a fine, of course, and then they put him on probation for 3 months.
Incredible. Like, even if you're a common sense person, that almost feels like it's corrupt. It's almost like the cops knew the other people or something, and they're covering up for them.
That's exactly what they did.
Oh, wow.
He was was a son. They were sons of prominent people in town. Because in Archuleta County, you have those that can and those that can't. And unfortunately, we have a system that is being abused here in Archuleta County because of nepotism and who do you know. And so justice is never served. The only justice there is you're going to have to pay at the end of the day, even though you're the victim.
I heard a jailer out of Costilla County say that it's not about what you do, it's about who you do it to.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair? I thought we had the rule of law. Nobody's allowed to rape or murder or rob or attack people. Nobody's allowed to hurt people, I thought. Isn't that what the law says?
Well, that's what it says, but that's not how it's carried out, because we've gotten a system that is so focused on revenues that laws, and since we are a corporation, and most people don't realize that, we are a corporation, it's handled like a corporation, so it's always about revenue.
That sounds like corporatism too. You know what's crazy about me and you getting along is I'm kind of a leftist, extremist. I'm kind of I believe I lead with my heart, and I feel like I kind of get burned by that. But that's, I guess what I'm trying to say. It's kind of crazy that I feel like you're kind of a rightist, right extremist. Which it's not, extreme isn't bad if you're extreme for love and unity and goodness. But I guess what I'm saying is that it's crazy me and you get along. It almost makes it seem like the divisions that's between the people is made up by the elites, because if me and you can get along, then it's not about ideology. It's not about politics. It's not about, what they're talking about. It's something else.
Yeah. Actually, they will force us where we'll all be home. Controls that.
Yeah. All right. Can you? It's kind of going in and out. It's a little spotty. Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Oh God, it's going in and out of me. I'm getting some weather over here, Mr. Bryant. Oh, okay. I wanted to push back a little bit. I wasn't able to hear much, but I wanted to at least tell you, I set this up to where it sounds like that I'm starting it, but the guy slowed his rig down. I'm walking my dogs in the backyard, and he slowed his rig down to where he was walking the same pace as my dogs, and then my dogs started walking towards him, and I'd been getting messed with out there before, so I presumed he was messing with me, and he was trying to get my dog's attention, and that's why I told him to get the fuck out of there. So it's not like I'm just yelling at people for no reason. I set it up like that in this narrative just to make it so you wouldn't know who person A or person B was, because it does seem like I'm starting it, but I feel like I'm allowed to shout at people. I mean, it's not nice, but it's like free speech, right? So when he jerked his wheel towards me, that's when I really felt threatened, and I went inside and got the shotgun, and then 10 minutes later, the warning shots had happened.
Well, in that case, two wrongs don't make
Well, I wasn't punishing him. I shot the warning shots I didn't know what was going on. I'm sorry to cut you up, but I didn't know what was going on, so I shot the warning shots to let him know that if he breaks into my house or whatever, then I'm prepared to defend myself. So I wasn't like punishing him. I was just saying that you're doing crimes and you keep escalating, and I'm not for sure when you're going to stop.
Yeah, you don't want to. Okay, the guy's an ass.
Yeah, you're kind of going in and out. I feel like it might be. Well, I don't know. I got my verdict, I guess. So, can you hear me now? Can we still talk?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, so two wrongs don't make a right, but an eye for an eye is justice, or something equivalent of, right? You don't want to make the world blind, but if somebody does like take your eye, that's you should be in jail for 5 years or something, right? That's pretty bad.
I'm a full believer in too. You know, that's why I mentioned too, earlier that if the victim is made whole, then I think justice is prevailed.
That's actually the only way. They call that restorative justice, but I feel like that's the only kind of justice there is, isn't it? Restorative. What justice doesn't restore the neighborhood or the relationship? Destructive.
I don't think.
Sorry. Sorry, I was just making a little comment there. I feel like restorative justice is the only kind of justice. Their justice is destructive justice. It's like my mother owns a gas station. My mother owns a. Sorry, go ahead.
This is based on maritime law, and they can make up the statutes and precedences and codes as they will, and able to continue to strip our freedoms and our sovereignty from us. And at the same time, while they're doing that, they're charging us or throwing us in jail for stupid things.
Right.
And so we don't have a justice system anymore. I think the justice is going to have to be, utilized between those of us that still have common sense and still have a respect for what's right and what's wrong.
You're such a good mediator. You could be like the judge that people go to before the judge, and then if you're able to work it out, then that saves everybody a bunch of time and headache and money and everything else.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. There's
I know I'm a pretty good facilitator.
You're a what facilitator?
I know I'm a pretty good facilitator.
Yeah, man. There's I'm not a religious person, but I like the golden rule. You treat others the way you want to be treated because it's logical. When I'm good to others, it'd be nice if I get that goodness back. And it goes the other way too. So with eye for an eye, I guess I like that too, because it's basically, if you're good to me, I'll be good to you. You're bad to me, and then I don't even think I'll be bad to you. I just feel like I'll institute justice against you, and then hopefully that makes you whole. Because it's like, how do you stop a bully from bullying? If he keeps hitting you, you'll have to hit him, right? And then when he goes down, then he'll say, ouch, that hurts. And then he'll stop. So that's not, I guess that's kind of an assault back to the assaulter, but I think it's justice because it's not revengeful. It's not, you're not going above and beyond.
Yeah, bullies can't get away with what they do.
They have been, though. They have been. I'm thinking of this little ideal commune we're coming up with right now. If we're all living in a neighborhood and there's like 100 of us and one person complains against another person, we take it to Wayne Bryant. He solves it. And then, if we all consent and agree to it, I don't see how the system might try to arrest somebody and try to do something with something, but it wouldn't make any sense because everybody's already consented and they've already moved on with the whole thing. This,
You can always come to an agreement and mutually agree, okay, and then there you go. And we don't do that anymore.
well, just to complain a little bit with this situation, I got arrested for firing these warning shots, and that was in September of 2021. Since then, I've had 24 appearances, which, if you add that up, Consil just says he charges $4,500 a day. So $4,500 times 24, that's over $100,000 in legal fees, plus the head space and the time, and I'm not able to, go get a job or do anything else until I figure out a resolution to all of this.
We took away his weapons for that. And he spent a year getting his guns back.
Did he eventually get his gun back, though?
Eventually he did, but it took a year.
Yeah, and ain't that the damnedest? Ain't that ridiculous? Because the wording in Colorado's Constitution says if you defend home, person, and property. And if he was at his house, he defended all three. He defended his home, he defended his property, he defended his person. So that means they're not listening to the Constitution, or they're not upholding our civil liberties at least. They're just seeing the code and they're just saying, you fired a shot, so that's felony menacing. That's crazy. It'd be like it. That's terrible. Do you think, I don't know where you think about Nazi. I hope you hate Nazis as much as I do, but like Anne Frank, you could easily arrest Anne Frank, right? She would just be pretty compliant, but it'd be crazy to arrest the good, honest, polite person who doesn't criminalize and then ignore all the crimes of the Nazis. You know what I mean?
You're breaking up again.
Oh, okay. Man, we've talked for a minute, so I think I'm gonna let you go. But hopefully, I can give you another call where we're not breaking up so much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, man. Have a good one. Bye.